Skaggs here. Old Miss Jackie getting me ready for St. Patty's Day, and I think I'll be up in Reno. The 20th year anniversary of March Madness that we started back in around 2003. I'm not quite sure of the date. Me and Mark DeLuca, Stephen Allen Whitworth decided to get all the boys up there back in I think '03 or '04. Every year we've been going. That Wednesday night we fly in. This year it's March 15th. I usually stay until Monday because after the games I like to play some little no limit. Most of the guys are there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Head out on a Saturday. Little Gordon Lightfoot there. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about tonight, we'll just make it quick. It's Saturday night is playing open ended. I think it's really important that you're open ended, meaning time. When you go in, it's like, oh, I can only play for 4 hours. I can only play for 6 hours. I can only play for 10 hours. I think it's important that you have a couple days where you can just play. Um, because, I mean, obviously, you don't want to force anything. It's no limits a game of patience. You know, you got to be willing to muck hands for a half an hour straight, an hour straight, until you get something in position where you can play. And you can't be worried about the clock. I mean, it's so hard to win anyway. I mean, I always say you got to be open ended. You've got to have the table covered. Okay. Um, you got to have thousands of dollars because, like I sat down the other day and this guy, yeah, typical guy, sat there forever and wait for his cards. And it was like my third hand. I had Jack 10 suited. He made it 50 to go. I called. Flop came Jack 7 deuce. I was Jack 10 clubs. Um, I put him on, a high hand, aces, kings, or queens. Um, I checked to him. He made it 100. I called. Turn came at 10. Gave me top two. And like I said, I had him on aces, kings, or queens. Um, he made it like 250. I went all in. He called. And then he just started talking all kinds of garbage. Oh, you have one out. And it's, easy money, all this stuff. And of course, the dude had a set of jacks. Uh, and yeah, I was done. So this was out at the California Grand, where there are a ton of players out there. They have, I don't know, 25 tables. They've got a lot of stuff going on. And it's just like any other card room. I mean, because there's so many players, there are some bad players out there. But there's a pocket of pros who play all the time and grinders. And this guy was a grinder, and he was just, he's just an idiot. Luckily for me, they capped the buy-in at 1,000, so I only lost 1,000 on that one. Because I would have gone all the way. Like I said, I had him on a high pair. I thought I had him, but that's that it. But the point is, you got to be open ended so you can wait somebody like that out. He's only going to play high cards. He's hardly playing any hands at all, and then you can usually run those guys off hands too with a bluff because they're only going to call it if they have it. But anyway, I kept running into sets yesterday. It was garbage, and they kept getting rivered. But that's the game. That's why I always say you have to have enough money so that when some clown spikes a set of jacks on you and takes your initial buy-in, that it's not going to like ruin your day. And that's not easy. I mean, you got to have a lot of money in this deal. Plus they're taking $7 a hand, um, 30 hands an hour. That's 210 that's leaving the table, plus your tipping. So you got to figure about $300 an hour at least is evaporating from the table. Probably more, probably closer to 400 an hour. And that's why sometimes a game will start at noon, and then you'll like look at the game, and like 5 hours later, and everybody's down, and everyone's down because you're paying 400 an hour for the rake and for tips. Yeah, it's $2,000 across the board. So um, also, you want to always have everybody covered, because if you want to get paid off completely on your big hands, the other thing that will start to happen, two things. One, you can run people off hands. Two, you can take more chances. And, I always say you want to play the low cards, because the low cards, you can make the nuts and they don't see it. And that happened yesterday. I played 2-4 and uh, turned a straight on a dude, and he had a set of twos actually. So uh, the case two came out, gave him a set, gave Skaggs one pair straight, um, and I went all in for like 2K. He called, and I got all his money. If I didn't have him covered, then I want to get all his money. And when you're playing the kind of hands that I like to play, the lower cards, the cards I can't see, you're going to get all their money because no one's going to put you on a 2-4. You know, that's how it goes. But the flip side on that is, I love to take a raise, with low cards or suited cards, because I know this guy's going to hang on to his hand. Problem is, if you don't hit it, it's going to cost you money, and if they don't pay you off, it's going to cost you money. So you've got to know the situation, and it also depends on how you're running. Are you catching cards that day or not? So there's a lot to this deal. We got March Madness coming up, March 15th. The boys will be in Reno. You guys are all invited. We'll be at the Pepper Mill. We'll be hanging out. We'll have a couple tables there. Most of us stay at the Pepper Mill. Um, and let's see what else we got going on. I think we got a couple questions here. We got a question from Clint back in Philly. Clint wants to know, what was my worst beat on the river? Well, shoot, I've gotten beat down on the river so many times. I can't even I can't even begin to tell you about it. But the thing is with me is, I usually try to get the money in when I have the best hand. I don't like to get the money in when I'm on a draw, unless I'm trying to run somebody off the table and run them off the hand. But I think this is in the book, Down to the Felt. One of my worst beat. Well, I don't know. This wasn't really a horrible beat because the guy had 6 outs. But I was playing against the great Kevin Krager, and well, shoot, I don't know. I think I had Ace King or something, and he had two cards, and so I raised it 300. He called. Everybody else dropped out. Flop came. What'd the flop come? I think it came Ace King. No, 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 no. It came King, 10, Deuce, Rainbow. So I had Ace King. I thought I had the best hand. So let's see. Turn comes. I make it. What's there? There's like 700 in the pot. So I make a pot size bet, 700. Kevin, we both had about 5 grand that night. Kevin goes all in, and I call. I got top pair, top kicker, and I know Kevin's probably on a draw because that's how he plays. Although the only friggin' draw um, was open-ended straight, right? No, King 10. Okay, so yeah, Kevin. So of course on the river, a friggin' ace come that gives me two pair, and Kevin rolls over his cards. He has Queen Jack. So, but like I said, he had 6 outs, 12%. I mean, I've actually had worse beats. I've had guys, spike a set on me before with 2 outs or 1 out. But that one I remember just because it was against Kevin. It was kind of a big hand. Let me see. We got another question here. Adonis from Las Vegas. Um, let's see. What is Adonis asking? Adonis says, "Why don't you come out and play in Vegas more?" Well, Adonis, that's a good question. I do play in Vegas. I'll be in there in the World Series again this year. It'll be my third straight year. But let's be honest. Vegas, you got a lot of grinders. You got a lot of guys wearing their friggin' backpacks. A lot of guys who buy in for the max. Um, they're vaping, and they're all like, they used to be younger. They used to be like, they used to be in their late 20s. And now these guys, I'd say they're in their 30s and early 40s. So there's a lot of pros rolling around there, sitting in the games. And I think I can find better spots to get my money in. Although I do like the World Series uh, poker, I like the side games on the strip there. I had a pretty good run last year, trying to get some money together to go out there again this year. But the other thing about Vegas is, yeah, it's only a flight away, but sometimes, with the air travel, you get delayed, and then it's just so expensive. And I mean, we've got great fishing holes here. We've got the Palace, we've got the Grand, we have Bay 101, we've got Lucky Chances, a lot of good places to play here in the Bay Area. So, Adonis, I will be coming out to Vegas. I'll be out there this summer, and I will have to look you up. So, yeah, I think that's another session here for Skags. I want to see if we can end it with some more music. Um, and oh, we don't want to listen to this. I don't know what this guy's doing here. I do have a good song for us, so just give me a second here. Come on. Was down to talk to my doctor about Rhodopsis. Ask your healthcare provider about Rhodopsis today. Here we go. Little Rolling Stones here. Um, yeah, so kind of the big things when you're playing No Limit. Open time. Got to have at least 2 days where you can sit there and play, so you're not in a rush. Cover the table if at all possible, and you've got to have thousands. So if some weasel spikes you, it's not going to ruin your day. Skags out. Oh, you can turn the lights on? Oh. Oh, there we go. Me and Mick. Oh, I love these lights. Oh my God. St. Patty's Day. Jack Skaggs. Mount Eden basketball. We did have to get the three-peat, by the way. Had to go into Hayward, and we weren't really gracious guests. Put a little beat down on them to win our third straight title. And then a couple nights later, we're tied up playing the number one seed. The Zebras had to get involved. Double teched us. And we smoked a bunch of free throws. Skaggs double out.